I did it. This is number 50. It took like 2 years, so that means I was running at like 50%. But nonetheless, I did it. And to celebrate, I was going to have some confetti and stuff, but here's like a paper towel. So like, yeah, there we go. Yep, big party. Anywho, so today's for my 50th. I was like, I had to have the guy on that had me on for his 100th episode. It only seemed right. He's the best podcaster in the world. He's the nicest guy in the world. He runs a record company, a record label. He's in 19 bands. He can speak 47 languages, and he has the superpowers of Iron Man and Captain America all combined in one. Ladies and gentlemen, Paul Neal.
Wow, that is quite the intro. Thanks, Jimmy.
Yeah, I mean, it speaks for itself.
Well, thanks for having me on. I am honored to be on the 50th episode. That's a big deal, man. Congratulations.
Thanks, man. Like I said, it took a little longer than I wanted it to, but I don't know. It's a little different for me because like I don't do this in my house or anything. Like we have a studio I drive out to and stuff, and just the aspect of it's like going to work or it's a little more than I mean, just I don't know, firing up in my living room or something because we've done it out in my living room and stuff. It's just this is way better.
I might argue that you're more professional than I am because I don't have like the black screen, the logo stuff. I don't even do video, right? I just do audio. So arguably you're next level compared to me.
Okay, well, the more professional is definitely not the case. And me, like, I don't do any of this. Like, I have a producer guy named Nick who just tears everything up. Like, he runs his computer stores where we're at, like a computer repair shop. And that's where we do everything. But yeah, he's a guru. Otherwise, I'd be lucky to have a Zoom meeting.
You're true talent, meaning that you're just the pretty face in front of the camera and the real professionals are doing all the work.
Yes. 100%.
Well, I'm glad we got that sorted.
Yeah, no, I don't deny it. So what's new, man?
Trying to get band stuff together. I'm getting ready to put out a couple of records that I'm excited about, doing the podcast. I've had some bigger guests recently. So yeah, everything is good. I'm just trying to keep up with the Jimmy Minarchiks of the world.
Yeah, right. Yeah, if you can get on your couch and go to the kitchen, you pretty much kept up with them. Well, like what'd you say you're on 160 episode 162?
Yeah, 100. So I release on Thursdays, and 162 comes out tomorrow. Yeah.
And when did you start doing it?
2 years. It's been 2 years.
It's been 2 years for you too. Okay. Yeah. Well, we all started at the same time. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's felt like the right time, right? Coming out of the pandemic, trying to find stuff to do, trying to find connections.
Yeah.
It felt right. And of course, I do mine because of Mark Tremalia in LA. That was the starting point. He's got so many stories. It's easy, right?
You two are funny together too. That's what Tim and Nave and I were talking about. Like those two have like a dynamic. Like it's funny as shit, man.
Well, because I've known him since high school, right? So that's like the thing. And I think what's funny there in our relationship is he went to LA. We lost contact. I didn't talk to him for 20 years. I was living in Germany at the time, and I was looking to buy a new amp, and I was online looking at Line 6 stuff. And lo and behold, Mark Tremalia is demoing Line 6 gear on the official Line 6 YouTube channel. And I was like, holy shit, that's Mark Tremalia. And that it was the spark for us to reconnect. So then I reached out to him, and then I went out to LA to visit him, and then I started taking lessons, and that whole story. So
did you played before taking lessons from him though, right?
Yeah, I played for most of my life. It's just like you get into this routine where you can do what you can do, right? You can play what you can play. I played in punk bands, everything was fine. And you go to magazines and you get tab and whatever, and everything is fine. But then, I think I was in my late 40s, maybe not 50 yet, but I could actually, learn from Mark and try to be better at the guitar. So that was like the thing.
I'm just recently going through that now. I just started taking bass lessons 3 months ago.
Okay, cool.
But I've been playing since I was 16, you know what I mean? But like you say, you kind of hit a wall almost.
Yeah.
And wait, you're over 50?
Yeah, I'm well over 50.
No way. Dude, I thought you were like 47.
Nope.
Wow.
Well over 50.
Wow, I stand corrected on everything I thought I knew. That's
It's
crazy.
My Asian blood keeps me young. That's what it
That's
is.
what's gotta be something, man. Holy shit. Yeah, no, I thought you were like, yeah, yeah, late 40s. I was like, huh.
If if I start to feel old, I just get more tattoos, and that I think the injection of ink makes me feel younger again.
Oh, that's cool. You're still playing in punk bands too, man. That's awesome.
I mean, I of course I play in lots of bands, but yeah, punk is the most. It's like the most fun, isn't it? Just to get
Yeah,
up there and bang around and not really have to worry about anything. There are few things more fun in life than that.
yeah. And like I've partied a lot in my life, and like I've always said too, like there's no drug that can even match being on stage, like playing. Like there's just nothing that can even touch it.
Yeah, yeah, I agree 100%. Like we've done tours with the German band, and you got a 7 hour drive or whatever, and you get into the place, and you kind of not feeling it. But the moment like you load your gear in, everything changes, and then you get to play, even if it's for nobody. You get to play, and everything is right in the world, at least for a little while. And then you can be a miserable bastard after you get off stage again.
Oh, for sure. You know, I always reserve enough time for that for sure. So like, Doping the Void, is that the German band?
Yeah, that's the German band. Yeah, yeah.
So how does that work? Are you the only one over here?
I am. The rest of the guys all live in Munich. We started that band. Me and Jurg, the bass player, started that band from the remnants of a previous band when I was in when we were living in Munich, and we started Doping the Void. Released a couple of things, added the trumpet player, and then just as you know, it's one of those things you start to get a little bit of traction, and then I was like, well, I'm going to move back to the U.S. And they were like, what?
Did you move back for a job or something though? Like,
I worked for the same company. It's a German company. It just felt like we had been in Germany for 9 years, and it just felt like time. It just felt like time to come back. And really not anything more than that. It just felt like the right thing. But once I got back, again, I work for a German. My day job is with a German company, so I go back at least twice a year, and so we were able to keep it together because I could write songs, I could send them stuff, I could go over, we could rehearse, we could play shows, and then they would come over every 2 years, 18 months, 2 years, and we would tour, that's what we've continued to do. It works shockingly well.
that's awesome. Do you sing in that band too?
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
It's so sing. I shout in that band, yes.
Yeah, I saw a couple videos of it, man. It looks like a fun time.
Yeah, well, when you get your country band together, we can go on a tour. Oh, wait, you're not doing the country band anymore.
Well, Tim actually, I was talking to him. I sent him his shirts last Saturday, and he said something about it's going to be me, you. We got to find a drummer, but yeah, we didn't find a Ringo, but it's going to be us three, or me, you, him, and then a drummer. We're going to
Well,
start a punk band.
Tim plays guitar, you play bass, I can play drums, and then we're done. We can just be a trio.
Yeah, yeah, make more money that way,
Yeah, exactly.
or make no money at all.
No, the splits are way bigger for when we break big because,
Yeah,
of course, new band, you think you're going to break big.
yeah, dude, he's insanely good. Like that's not even my style, but like, did I hear you? Is he on your label now?
Yeah, so that's one of the things I'm excited about. He is so prolific, right? So we're talking about Tim Nave for everybody, artist in Tennessee, the artist known as Tim. Um, I have the opportunity. We're gonna put out the different volumes of his bitter albums. So we're gonna do very short runs of each of the bitter volumes, and then we'll probably do like a big LP of all of it together. But then he's like, oh yeah, and I'm also working on this other thing, and I'm also working on this other thing. I got plenty of stuff we can put out. It's like, damn, Tim, write a bad song once in a while, would you?
Right, dude, it's the same way with art. He sends me like, art for the t-shirts. I'm like, man, this is awesome, And he's like, well, this is from before. I got somebody working on this. I got somebody working on that. And here's these. And I'm like, what do you want to use, man? And it's like, it's really good art. You know what I mean? Because I think
Yeah,
I don't know whose podcast, maybe it was Trev's or yours, but he was saying about the person he hired to do that art, was an actual
yeah,
artist and not like, not just like a graphic designer or whatever, but
yeah.
and went with that, with what the wild things are or whatever it was, like the
Exactly.
theme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can. He told me that she does tarot is like her main thing. She makes
Yeah.
tarot cards, and you can really see that. Once you know that, you can really see that in the art. It has that. It certainly has that vibe. But
Yeah, because we had to, like, dumb it down a little bit even to get it on a T-shirt. I was like, "Dude, that's like 64 colors in there, like, I can't do that," you know?
Well, then let me ask a question, right? How hard is it to screen print? Because it seems hard to do it well. Like anybody could do a shitty job, one color, and then you're done. But it seems hard to do well, like anything.
Listen, it's I so what I've gathered is it's extremely hard. This is what I hear. Okay, the fact that I can do it, it blows my mind because I'm not good at anything, okay? And I went on this tangent, I had a bunch of COVID money, and I was like, "You know what? I don't ever wanna see another person again in my life, especially a coworker. I'm gonna start printing because I was watching, what's his face? Simeon from Stupid Rad. He had these
Mm-hmm.
fun Fridays, he called it, and he would just sit and drink in his basement and, like, live stream and print all kinds of nonsense, and I would talk to him, and I'm like, "This looks cool," you know? But everybody I talked to, like, they're like, "Dude, I tried it for weeks and couldn't get it," and I'm like, "What?" Like, it blows my mind that I can do it, but yeah, it's really hard. It's patience, and I don't have any of that either, but somehow it works.
Self-deprecating Jimmy.
Yeah.
You're good at a lot of stuff, but you don't want to admit it to yourself or others.
Right, I'm like my biggest, yeah, I'm my, own worst enemy, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, you're a big fan of Lit, obviously, if you're gonna
No,
mention
not at
that.
all, not at all. It's like that damn Jimmy Eat World, man, like, I hate that one song, like, there's a band actually around here that covers it, and I'm like, "Man, I'm not going to see them just because I know they're gonna play that damn Jimmy Eat World song," and I'm like, "I'm not doing it."
Well, I so my money making thing is I have this band where we're gonna do some like pop country and hit songs, right? So
Yeah.
the Jimmy Eat World, the middle, that's of course on the list. And I actually went online and found songs that make white people turn, right? That was the list. And it was all of these songs that we're talking about because people go fucking bananas for these very mediocre songs,
Yeah,
right?
Living on a Prayer was on there too, wasn't it?
It definitely was
Yeah,
on there.
dude, and that's like, there's a cover band around here, they get, I wanna say almost 2 grand per show. Like, I
Yeah,
think it's $1,800 per show, and it's like but and they like you said, these people go ape shit for this stuff,
yeah,
like
yeah. I was resistant to our singer Lindsay was like, we got to play Sweet Home Alabama. We play Sweet Home Alabama. All the 50-year-old women are going to rush the stage, and everybody wants to hear it. And I was like, no, every band plays that song. That song sucks, right? I don't want to play it. But I mean, she's right, and we should play it because everybody loves that dumb song.
yeah, and then they're gonna yell "Freebird" right afterwards. And that song's just as dumb.
We're playing. We're gonna play Simple Man, which is one of the best Skinner songs. If you got to play a Skinner song, that one's a good one to play because
Yeah, that one band did that cover of it that was pretty good too.
yeah, yeah.
What was that band?
I don't know.
Shinedown.
Okay.
Yeah,
You
see, look,
you dig it on the like hard rock tip, huh? That's
I grew up honestly, man, like, I love, like, AC/DC and stuff like that, like most people
yeah.
don't, but my parents were my mom had me when she was 19, my parents were, like, pretty much in their 20s or in the '80s, so I grew up, like, with I don't know, listening to Poison and all that kinds of stuff, so I
Yeah.
appreciate everything, man.
That's my high school years.
Yeah.
I was in high school during all of that. That was our thing. I remember a friend coming to high school with the first Metallica LP with Kill 'Em All, and he's like, "Hey, everybody, we got to listen to this." And it was like, wow, this is weird
Yeah.
and awesome.
I still remember I got my first, Megadeth album, it was, Euthanasia, but I got it when I was in 5th grade, and I remember putting it in, I was like, "Oh my god," like and it took me the longest time to even understand Slayer. I remember being young and I'd hear Slayer, and it just sounded like a bunch of racket to me, you know what I mean? But, like, as I got older and, like, in the high s later down in high school, I'd be like, I got it," you know?
And so, did you ever play in a metal band? Did you ever do
Oh,
any
dude,
of
that's all I did, growing up. It was all metal. There's literally 2,100 people in my town, like, in my area. That's how big it is here. So, but when I was growing up, there was, I wanna say 12 to 15 bands around here, like that many. Everybody was just that's what everybody did.
that? And speaking of your hometown, I have noticed on your social medias that you do these things where you take pictures or you get clips of the history of your town.
Yeah,
So, so what's that all? It's very intellectual and sort of artsy, Jimmy. What's going on there?
and listen, I thought the same thing too, and I don't understand it. And what happened is I learned to, it's called halftone screen printing.
Hmm.
So, like, you get, almost shades. I learned to do that, and I learned that I could take, HD pictures with my phone or whatever, and I could convert them to, like, black and white, and then I could put them in the Adobe Illustrator and do this process to where it basically you bitmap it, basically making small circles out of everything, and then
Hmm.
that one like thing led to another. I was like, "Wow, that's really cool." And I did those couple buildings and I was like, "Wow." And then I started just reading about the buildings and like then I like but in the same sense, I've gotten to read like I know now about like all the corruption that goes around here because it's such a small town and the manipulation and stuff. But like that hotel that's here, it just fascinates me. Like our town one time, it was like little Chicago here. There was 8 hotels at one time. There was a baseball team. There was like, I mean, there was a lot of money here.
Why not start a business venture where you're doing Segway tours? So buy a bunch of Segways, and then you can start a little tourism industry in your town. And everybody's riding around in, helmets and riding around on the Segways.
Because Paul would be 90 feet. I mean,
I mean, that's not true. It has to be. There has to be a couple of stoplights, right? At least a
yeah, there's
couple.
a few. There's a couple. I wanna say 6 maybe.
Okay, right.
When I was growing up, there was, like, 9 churches and 11 bars here.
So what do you do? Do you do the church crawl or do you do the bar crawl? What's
Neither, actually. I just get looked at really weird by everybody all the time. Like, it's strange. Like, I'm the only punk rocker, like, in the town, and it's just yeah, I don't fit in with any of them.
Is this where you grew up?
Yes.
So you grew up and you stayed in your little town. Why not go to Chicago or Toronto or somewhere cool?
Well, I don't know, like, to me, I don't think anywhere else is cool. I don't really know anybody there, and, like, I like my state because I like going out to Pittsburgh, but, when I lived in Pittsburgh, I hated the traffic and stuff like that. And, like, I don't know, my family's here, not that I even talk to my family. My brother lives in an apartment across the hall from me. We don't really speak ever, but they're there if I need them, and, like, I don't know, it's just it's home. And, like,
Yeah,
I find this place interesting because, like I said, there's a road here, it's like Millionaires Road, and there's these houses, man, that are just it would blow your fucking mind. Like, they are huge, and they were built, back in the early 1900s, but, I just find it, like, so fascinating that there was that much money here and, like, there was so much shit going on, and then, like, that it's this now.
so what was the industry? Do you know?
Cool.
Okay, yeah, okay, that makes sense. That dried up. Yeah,
Yeah, like, late '60s, it dried up pretty bad,
yeah.
and then
Are you
it's
gonna
went
buy one of those houses on the hill?
oh, man, I wish. I wish one of them is like a bed and breakfast now, but funny enough, one of them is where, my first band practiced.
Okay.
My buddy's parents owned it, man, and, like, oh god, it had, like, one of those servants' entries and stuff, and then he had,
Yeah.
we called it the trolley, it, had one of those, the chairs that go up the stairs.
Oh, like for the old people
Yes,
sitting
but
on
we
it?
call it yeah, so we call my buddy King Friday in his trolley, he'd get to ride it up the stairs when he was all drunk. Yeah, we went there and oh, man, that place was a riot, but that place was it's just enormous, and just like I said, it just I don't know, I don't think anywhere is any better than here, and I don't know, I feel like I was a weird kid growing up here, and I feel like if I still walk around being the weirdo, maybe there's a younger group of people being a weirdo, and they'll say, "Hey, that's okay," I could be weird just like him,
Yeah.
and I don't think I'm a
You want
horrible person, so
Yeah, you wanna be the standard bearer for the weirdos coming up behind you.
yeah,
That
I
makes
mean
sense.
and, like, I don't know, I like to call shit out here because, like I said, there's a lot of corruption and stupid stuff, and, like, nobody will ever say anything, but guess what? I will. I
Why don't you start a politics podcast about your town?
because I don't know enough, like, as far as that goes, like, I don't vote, I've never voted, I just never saw the point of picking between 2 evils because I never liked any candidate like, it's just not me, and I get shit for it all the time, like, "Well, you're still"
It's your civic duty. I'll point that out right now. It's your civic duty.
exactly, so there you go, you're gonna give me shit too for it, but I just and at this point, I'm 39, like, I'm over, I don't care, like, they're both gonna fuck shit up anyway, so, it's just whatever.
Yeah, I think that there's some truth to that. All right, so no politics. How do we get how do we what can we start on Patreon, right?
See, I've
Or
wanted the same thing.
GoFundMe for Jimmy Minarchik, and the only goal is to get you in one of those giant houses on Millionaire Row.
I mean,
That's it,
that's fair.
you know.
Yeah.
But we need to be able to offer something to the people. Otherwise, why
Pictures
would
of
they?
me in front of the house, or pictures of me in the pool in the backyard. I mean, we can go for this for days, I'll have clothes on, obviously.
Right, every day. So the Patreon level is every day you get some new picture of Jimmy in the house doing something.
Yeah. hanging
Right.
out, being cool, and every picture is just gonna be the same picture of me smoking a joint in the backyard. Everyone. Until everybody gets upset about it, obviously.
Right. They're not seeing any real return on their investment, their entertainment investment.
So can I ask you can you tell me what other albums you're putting out soon?
Yeah, so there's a songwriter in the Chicago area named David Rokas. When we first moved back to the U.S., we lived in the Chicago area,
Where at?
and in the western suburbs, Darien was the
Okay,
little
I took a
suburb.
train out there like 4 years ago by myself, it was wild.
Okay, yeah. The train. I've never taken the train, but my son's wife often takes the train to Chicago because her family is there. Yeah, yeah.
It was different.
Yeah, that's cool. So I met this. I got involved in the music scene. I started doing band stuff, and I met this guy Dave, who had just put out a record, and I really liked it. I thought it was great, well recorded. The songs are really good. Um, I played bass in his band for a little bit to try to do some shows and get people interested in him. And so then he's been working on a record for a couple of years, and we talked about me putting it out. So that's coming out. It's all done. He's trying to finish up the art now. So that one's coming out. And the Red Lines from Pittsburgh, actually from Butler, but from Pittsburgh, who I think are real good songwriters. It's not punk for sure, but it's like that hard rock thing that we were talking about before. So I'm putting their stuff out. That one's already in production. Production times, as you probably know, just are forever and a day. So so that's in production. I don't have a delivery date yet.
You only do vinyl, right?
I only do vinyl. I've done CD a couple of times, but I found that nobody buys it, even though everybody says I want CDs, but I couldn't sell them, so I stopped doing that.
It's like people when you put shirts and stuff on, like, "Oh, I need this," but they never buy it, you know? Like yeah. But no, I get it with the CDs, man, 'cause most, a lot of bands around here I see, they buy these CDs and then, trying to charge $5, they end up handing them out, you know?
Right, exactly. And it's like the digital files from my website, they're all free. Just because, again, I mean, you can get them for free somewhere else anyway. So why am I trying to charge? Why am I trying to make $1 off of somebody? Because it's not worth it, right?
Right, no.
But the vinyl's a thing that you can have, and having the big thing in the art, and the artist gets to, like, the band gets to design all of that, which I also think is really cool for the band. It feels like the '70s sort of in that respect. They get to do more with their physical copy. So
Yeah.
I think that's cool.
Yeah, and you put out the album of the year last year, so that's gotta feel good. Listen,
I,
did I tell you how I ended up with that?
no.
So listen, I'm at York, okay, down at the West York Inn, and, we were playing with Coffee with Lions, and, I had John Grove pick me up a T-shirt from this one band, and he hands me this Crooked Cobras album, and he's like, "Here, man, I got this for you," and I said, "I never told you to buy me this, dude," and he's like, "Oh, yeah, you did," and I was like, Okay, whatever," so I stuck it in the car, and I was like, Whatever, man." So I took it home and it sat there for days and days and days. And one night I was just cleaning or something. I'm like, oh, I'll put that in and see what it's like. And I put it on and like right off the beginning track, I was just like, man, these guys are not fucking around, And it just
Yeah.
the whole way through. And I was like, son of a bitch. Here, 2 days later, Jason Overmiller from the West York Inn messages me and he's like, hey, I think John gave you my fucking Crooked Cobras album. And I was like,
That's awesome.
yeah, I was like, son of a bitch, man.
Oh my god, that's awesome. Wait, so did you give up your copy?
No, he's like, I'll just buy another one. What I did was I had that coupon from Scott Pash's thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I gave him my coupon thing for your place just to get it from there. I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, okay. Now I remember Jason's name actually
yeah,
in the order list. So yeah, that's cool. So one of the first things I did pre-pandemic with 222 Ormsby, which is the venue that I help out at, is I wanted to do a live from 222 Ormsby thing, right? So we set up, the band plays for as long as they can, and then we choose songs and we put out a very limited 40 copies live from 222 Ormsby. And for the first one, I wanted to make sure I had the tightest band I could, who I knew we could record them and it wouldn't be terrible, right? So Cobras was the first one. So I released the Cobras live from 222 and it sold out almost immediately. Um, so that's a pretty great album. If I had an extra, if I can dig up an extra copy, Jimmy,
I
it's
was just
coming
gonna
your
tell
way.
you. Yeah,
Yeah,
I was just gonna tell you, man, if you can find that somewhere, that would be
yeah,
awesome.
yeah, yeah. And it came out great, and those guys, it was super. It was the middle of the summer. It was super hot, and Ray, the guitar player, I think literally was moments from passing out and dying. But it came out so good. But that's the thing. Like, I want to put out music from bands that are awesome, right? And it's not just the music that's awesome, but they're all awesome guys, right? Everybody's super cool and easy to deal with. There's nothing worse than dealing with a band that thinks they're going to break big any second. It's just like, well, if you think you're going to break big any second, why do you want me to put out your record? Why don't you just wait till Geffen contacts you?
Yeah, that's why I always tell people to, like, set the bar a little higher, you know what I mean? But I don't know, like you said about I mean, I find now too, like, people with, like, the Snipped and whatever, like, I love their music. It's not necessarily my favorite music, but those guys being the people they are, like, makes it my favorite music, you know what I mean? Like, it elevates it for me because I know
So
what
is
it's
that
coming from.
is
What's
that
that?
is that is that the new snippet we can take from this? Is that you don't really dig the snip?
You
Because
can
I think
tell 'em that. I
that's
tell
the
'em that every
drama.
day. I tell
That's
'em that
the
every
drama
day.
right now.
Yeah. Oh, you should see the shit I talk to them daily. I keep wax on his toes, man.
That's great.
And then I jam with Justin from the Snip too.
Okay, yeah, and he's a good guy. He's been on my show. I think this is the catalyst that we needed to start the band with me, you, and Tim. We just throw some songs in a hat and go out and do 5 days and see how it is. I think it would be fun.
I'm down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have a family, I don't have a dog, I don't have nothing, man. I got nothing to lose.
The problem is pulling Tim away from his actual paying gigs
I
to
know.
do something like this.
Or pulling him out of his house. He always says he's just like, "I'm hiding in my house today, man." I'm like, "You're hiding in your house every day, man."
Yeah,
You
he
just
only
don't
goes out to play shows at wineries where he can get paid.
Yeah. Yeah, man, he plays at he always takes a picture where he's playing at and sends it to me, man. He plays some nice spots too, like, there's some really nice places.
Yeah.
There was one in South Carolina there, I was just like, "Damn."
We're going camping. My wife and I are going camping. As you said, we go camping. We like to camp. Uh, but we're going down to Georgia next weekend for 4 or 5 days. But it's on the way back. I'm gonna see if Tim's around because we're gonna be passing right through Johnson City.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Will that
so
be the first time you met him in person?
that'll be the first time I've met him in person, which
That's
is
awesome, man.
insane. Yeah,
Why Georgia? Why camping in Georgia?
because it's warmer there
Like,
for sure. Right,
there's just
and
no
really
other
nothing like that. Yeah,
Okay. I just didn't know if there's other reason or
we
man
try to camp every month. So,
Oh,
and
really?
right now, yeah, right now you gotta go. You gotta go
Like, even
south. Otherwise,
December?
yeah, we're gonna try to. So the plan. So we just got a new thing to camp in, and it wasn't ready for this December, so we had to cancel. But last year we went to South Carolina, um, and it's good and fun. Yeah,
Man, you and my dad would get along so well.
really.
He loves the camp, dude. He just was it last year or the year before? I don't know if it's this year or last year, I get them all confused, but he bought a new camper.
Okay.
Not a
Yeah.
brand new one, but I mean, it was used, but I mean, it's fucking nice. It's huge. And I was like, "Can I take that to that festival?" And he's like, "Yeah, right."
Ours is van size, right? So it's not like so we can drive it as our regular day to day driver, but it has like camper shit inside. It has a bathroom and a stove and stuff. But
That's just you and your wife, right?
it's just me and my wife and our dog. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that'd be fine, man. Like, and honestly, for the gas mileage and shit, as expensive as it
Yeah.
is, like, that's the way to go.
Yeah. We're really excited. So we haven't camped in it yet. Next week will be our first. But it's the reason why I can't go to the big allegedly thing in when is that? In March or April? I can't remember now.
March.
March, yeah.
March 25th, I think.
Because we'll be camping.
So do you like take guns and fishing rods and stuff like that, or just like, marshmallow sticks and
I've never, well, I don't really eat, like, I don't like marshmallows. I don't eat sweet stuff a lot. I'm more of a potato chip guy. I've never shot a gun. I've never held a weapon. And I don't,
Really?
yeah, yeah.
So, I'm close to that. I was my first year hunting, uh, it was freezing obviously, because like, that's just dumb. You sit in the woods and freeze for Nobody's starving. Anyway, I see deer, my dad points them out, and, like, I take a couple cracks off of it, and, like, the buck's already in the woods, and there's, like, doe and whatnot, and I'm still shooting, you know what I mean? Just because 'cause I'm, like, 12 and go so, like, I put the gun down, and I'm like, We're done here. Like, no more." Like, and because I kept thinking in my head, "If I what would I have done if I'd have shot that?" Like, I couldn't have walked up to it, like, I would've it would've traumatized me,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I really like animals. I hate people. I could probably shoot a person before I shot an animal, and that's no joke. And that's horrible to say, but I think it's true.
Well, I mean, if you know that about yourself, that's a good thing to know about yourself.
Yeah, I don't own any weapons or anything, and, like, my dad's been driving me nuts because he has his dad was a hunter, big hunter, you know what I mean? So he has all these guns, and he's like, "Well, I'm gonna pass them down to you," and I'm like, "Well, what the fuck am I gonna do with them?" I was like, "I don't have any kids, like, I what" he's like, "But don't sell them," and I was like, "Well, then what the fuck really am I gonna do with them?" You know what I mean? Like, so when I die, what, it's just gonna be a free for all? Who's like, it's just it makes no sense to me.
Whoever gets into your place first after you die gets a bunch of guns.
Yeah, it'll be my brother for sure. He'll be over my deathbed waiting on me, timing me.
He could have them already like he could have a container or something, have them already scooped up, just waiting for you to take that last breath, and then
Oh, yeah, I'm sure he will. He'll have a life insurance policy and everything else in his hands, and yeah, I know how he works. It was just like
uh,
me and him growing up, so I don't know. We don't talk much just because, I don't know. We're that close that we just don't need to and he works, like, in a prison or something like that, and I don't see him ever because
yeah,
he works weird ass hours, and I'm a
yeah,
weirdo, and I'm up all night all the time.
yeah. And
Yeah.
how close are you to Bree? Are you close by
I would
her?
say about 15, 20 minutes away. Just
Oh,
down this
okay.
I'm, like, down this, I'm on top of a mountain. She's at the bottom, but, like, it's just treacherous mountain. Actually, you wanna hear some fun history? The road that takes me to Breeze, back in 1894, there was a circus train, and the road that takes me there used to be where the train tracks were. Okay, so this circus train wrecks, man, and, like, 6 people die, there's fucking elephants,
Wow.
tigers everywhere, and, like, the townspeople, Tyrone and whatnot, had to go, like, fucking help, like, track these fucking animals and whatnot. So it took this guy 9 days to get all his shit back together, so what he did, he threw a free zoo party in the middle of Tyrone to fucking thank everybody. But, yeah, fun stuff, huh?
So is Tyrone's not your town, right?
No, I'm
Is it
Phillipsburg.
okay?
Tyrone's, like,
And
right before you it'd be, like, right after you get to Breeze.
okay. So Bree lives in Warrior's Mark, right? I'll always remember that because it's badass sounding.
It really is. And it's like it's literally nothing, like, it's smaller than my town.
Yeah.
She's got 1 gas station, and that's and a couple stop signs.
Central PA is mystifying to me. I don't understand why anything is there at all.
The reason I think we're here well, the reason we're here now is Penn State. I'm 20 miles away from the main campus.
Okay.
So everybody here works over there, you know what I mean? Anybody that's here, that's just where you work, and I think
That,
that's anybody that wants a good job, like, that's where you're getting it.
have you ever worked for State College?
Yeah, I've worked in state college. I've lived there a couple times too. Um, shit got pretty wild. I lived there during 2005 when Penn State was making their resurgence football. You know what I mean? They were bad, really bad, and then they went like 11-1 or something. But dude, the party, holy fuck. It was such a good time for like 12, 13 weeks, but
So
expensive. It's very expensive.
you weren't there for the whole coach. What was the whole
The,
Paterno and the
the
other guy that?
scandal, yeah, no, no, no. I was actually the Mike McQuarrie, the one coach that you know what I mean, turned the one guy in or whatever.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
I got thrown out of a bar because I almost got in a fight with him. And, like, I don't fight, man. Like, yeah, I was blacked out on Crown, and, like, he mouthed off something to me, and I didn't like it. But I didn't find out who it was till the next morning.
So did you go after him?
Yeah, the bouncers grabbed me and then threw me to the street, and I was never allowed in Bill Pickle's tap room ever again.
I have to imagine like he's a football coach. He's got to be like a big dude, right?
No, he was like this tall, skinny guy, man. Like, he was just like a tall, skinny nerd and just had a big mouth, and, like, it was even bigger than mine. I just had it, you know? I was like 12 shots of Crown deep, and I just had enough of his shit.
And was this before or after the scandal?
This was before.
Okay.
'Cause
Wow.
when the scandal happened, I wanna say I just moved home from Pittsburgh, I think, like, the year before when the scandal happened. But, man, what a time that was, like, 'cause everybody around here was, like, rocked from it, you know what I mean? Like, it was and it's sick, and it's what it is just 'cause a lot of people around here, like, hung out with went to that, Second Mile and stuff with Sandusky, like, you know what I mean? There was definitely people in our town and stuff.
Yeah.
Actually, I want to
I
say
think
my brother was even there.
the weird thing, like the like what he did was horrible, of course, right? And you have to feel terrible for all of his victims. But the part that's even weirder for me is the cover up stuff. Like whoever is allowing him to do that is the worst fucking person in the universe.
But, like, listen, that goes on here from, like, the cops to the district magistrates to, like, all of it. Like, that it goes on here so bad because it's so small and so, like, contained. Like, there was we had a police station here for a while, and, it just closed a couple years ago, but there was literally drugs going missing from the evidence room, and, like, nothing happened to anybody, you know what I mean? Like, nothing happened to anybody. And, like, there's this another podcast lady, and she kinda got off trail. I was really listening to her for a while. It was called Can't Stop, Won't Stop, but she was literally, like, finding out all this stuff about these crooked cops in Phillipsburg and whatnot, and it was really good, and then she, like, started just trailing off, and it was just, like, gossip and rumors and about people that didn't even matter to the pertaining to the case she was on, and it just, you know, I mean, she kind of blew her credibility to me.
Yeah, yeah,
But at first, like I said, my uncles were even my one uncle was, like, the sergeant at the state police barracks there for a while, but I was still, you know what I mean, in her care because I was like, "Hell yeah, get him." Like, 'cause, I don't
yeah,
know. Like I said, it's so bad here, like, the street that I take the pictures of all the buildings and stuff on,
yeah,
there's a committee that has them, you know, they're like a historical committee or whatever, but what they do is they manipulate it so only they can buy the buildings, only they can put businesses in the buildings, like, it's fucked up.
yeah. Well, that's the thing, right? That's the thing about being rich. Once you're rich, it's easy to get richer, but it's hard to get to that level. And you got all these dummies that think I'm this close to being right with them, right? Being a rich man, and no, you're not.
No, no.
It's delusion.
Well, the thing is too, I've always said, you know, being the richest person in Phillipsburg, being being the hottest person in hell, like, I don't know, because I used to work at the country club here, and that's all those people hang out there, and I'm like, you know, they act all and they're the dirtiest, nastiest people in the world, and I'm just like, "No," like, it's just I don't know, I don't get it.
That's one of my new long-term goals is to make Jimmy Minarchik the richest person in Phillipsburg. How,
Let's do it.
how can I make that happen? I think
3
that
buffalo nickels and 2 quarters, and I'll have it, man.
we got to get you the biggest fucking house on that millionaires row, and we have to make sure that you're loaded with cash, right? So no bank money. You got
Yeah,
cash on you at all
yeah,
times.
because 'cause I'm not making them money, like, there's no interest here, the only interest is me, you know?
Right. This, we have to make this happen. And while you were just talking about the podcasts, and you have this tremendous production facility, and you have resources behind you, just being the actor in front of the camera, right? What about we start a podcast where we go investigate cryptids or ghosts or something? Because there's probably a million of those, but there's way more true crime. So we can't do true crime. So let's do something else where we lock ourselves like Zach Bagans into a fake haunted house and see what happens.
As long as we can have a Scooby-Doo ending, I'm in.
That, oh my God, that's even better. We can hire someone to like pretend to be the ghost, and at the end we catch them.
It's the old man in the haunted amusement park every time, dude, every time.
That is a genius idea. We play the whole thing super straight for the whole beginning, right? We're scared and we don't know what's going on, but at the end, it's just another old man.
Yeah, and he's what he's wearing is just a paper bag, you know what I mean? Like, it's like Blair Witch up until then, and he just has a paper bag on his head. I think it's solid gold, dude. Don Cornelius, solid gold.
That is a genius idea, and we have to do that.
Yeah, I'm sold, man. Hey, listen, thank you for coming on here, dude. This has been fun.
It has been great. Thank you for having me, Jimmy.
Yeah,
I am happy for you and your success, and here's to many more.
yeah, dude, and I will talk to you soon because we were doing this podcast.
Right on.
All right, well, I'll talk to you soon, man.
All right. See you, buddy.
Hey,
Bye.
man, thank you. And that was Paul Neal from you heard it, Doping the Void, Katsulu, I believe I pronounced that correct. Productions, and he's got other shit going on. Go buy records off him. That's amazing. Vinyl too, and it's badass. Like I said, I got that Cobras vinyl, and it's freaking sweet. But anyway, thanks for watching. If you've tuned in all 50 episodes, my God, I feel sorry for you, but set the bar a little higher. But thank you. It's been one hell of a ride so far, I guess. Anyway, so we'll see you next time. Buy the ticket, take the ride. I'll see you.